Today we are going to explore our septic system. We're meeting with our engineer and we have our excavation guy here. So we're going to dig some holes and see what's going on. Coming into this, we really thought that we were here to see if our current system was something that we could reuse. It's never been hooked up. Apparently that was never really a good option once we talked to our engineer. So the plan was to dig 2 or 3 holes about 8 feet deep and see what the soil composition is. So we started that process, and luckily in the first hole that you can see here that we dug, we found shale, which was, according to our engineer, the best possible thing that could happen. Because if you have shale, you can put in a bed that is much smaller and is 4 to 5 feet deep, I believe he said. The current system that we have is about 45 by 50, and it's an infiltrator system, which is, even if we could have reused it, we would have had to double or triple it in size, which would have been very expensive. If we hadn't found shale, we would have had to put in a more complicated system that would have been even more expensive. So luckily, we found shale. So that ended up being good news. Not exactly what we thought we were hoping for, but it's how the day ended up. Here you can see how deep a hole is, 8 feet, but it looks a lot deeper when you're looking from the top. We actually went on to dig 5 holes, I believe, because a couple of the intermediate holes did not yield any shale. So we had to end up digging more than expected, but ended up with a good result. So what we believe the plan is now is that we will get the design from the engineer, who was great, by the way. He really went above and beyond to explain things to us. He crawled all over the place. He was very thorough, so I feel like we were in really good hands with him. But once we get his plan, then we can take that to the county and get our septic permit going. Then, of course, that's the first step in getting our building plans for both the barn and the main structure. I believe, as we've told you before, we do have the plans for the barn. We still have to do a little bit of engineering on that related to the frost depth. And then the main house, we're still waiting on the drawings, but we did talk to our friends at Formworks yesterday. They had a few questions, so they are working on it. It just takes time. This is a big project, and we're just going to have to be patient. There's a lot of work to be done, and we're just doing it a step at a time in the most logical order we can come up with, which is part of the challenge.
Hello there. So we're fixing to go out on the lake in the boat. It's not all work for us. There's some play in there too. Other than it's like a hurricane force wind. We forgot to tell you that part. But
It's
we
not
got
too bad.
no. We got to get this canoe over to a spot where we can chain it up.
We got to get the
which
chain.
I forgot.
Oh, okay.
I'll be back.
Okay. So this is Lake Pagosa. Our condo here in town is right on this lake. So like he said, we're taking our boat over to chain it up at the little boat storage area so that it'll be, well, actually not easier to access. Actually, we're trying to make more room in our garage. But if we get it right on the water, it will be easy to just
hop over there and jump in and go for a spin. So hopefully this is going to be an uneventful little trip across the lake. We'll see. I guess we got a little close.
Good. Yeah, we spooked them, but that's okay. Here we are paddling across the lake.
Well, we were.
We're actually at the little boat ramp.
We're kind of halfway, maybe.
Yeah.
We're across the roughest part.
Yeah, it's much calmer here.
Yeah.
We go down around the lake, but what a pretty spot, huh? And
Such
this
a
is
pretty
Lake
spot.
Pagosa, or Pagosa Lake, I guess is what you call it, right? Lake. I think a lot of people say Lake Pagosa.
Yep.
And in the distance is Pagosa Peak over the trees there, which is the one that we see from the house. So, of course, we're about 20 miles further. Well, no, probably 15.
Yeah, maybe 15.
15 miles away further.
Such a pretty day.
Yeah, here we are paddling. And I don't know, honey, can you talk and paddle at the same time?
No, I can't.
Okay.
That was fair.
I was getting her back from the day when we got our Jeep stuck.
I guess I should paddle,
But she's actually operating the camera.
it's hard to paddle and film at the same time. Well, we made it. We're got kind of tied up here, the little boat storage area on the other side of the lake. So now we can just walk over with our paddles and our life jackets, or drive over, whatever. Take it out for a little quick spin. This view, it's crazy from here. Well, Captain, are we done for the day?
I think we're ready.
Okay. Okay, so you actually thought we might fall in?
I was, well, you know, I used to be a Boy Scout. Be prepared. I have to show you. I put my wrapped in plastic. You never know. I don't want to. Yeah, and I didn't bring my wallet either, because I didn't. It was a little choppy out there in the middle. You know,
Well, if I thought we might have fallen in, I don't think I would have gone. That water's probably cold.
Oh, it's really cold, I'm sure. It'd be like really freezing. But you know, I don't know, it's just got. I don't know what I was going to say, but I was going to say something profound.
Well, I'm sure you were, but I mean.
Oh, here's what I was going to say. Nobody goes in there and says, I think I'm going to fall in. So, you know, you don't intend to fall in. Sometimes it just accidentally happens. It's an accident. So, anyway. You know, you kind of roll the dice every once in a while. It's okay. We're not wet. We made it.
Well, thank goodness.
Yes. I didn't want to tell you everything I was thinking, honey, because you might not have gone.
Well, okay. I just like to be informed, but maybe I don't need to be over-informed.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Less is better sometimes.
Okay.
But I was a Boy Scout, and I've been on worse lakes than this. I was on Big Trout Lake up in northern Wisconsin, where it was like white caps. We had all of our food, all of our clothing, everything with us, and we had to get across the lake to get to our campsite, and we made it. Nobody tumped over.
Nobody tumped over?
No. When it's really important, you don't tip over. So. Usually when you're kind of screwing around. I've been on canoe trips where people keep flipping over. It's like, oh, they keep flipping over. It's like, well, they're trying to.
I see. Well,
For fun.
I'm glad you weren't trying to today, because
No.
that would have been cold.
Would have been really chilly, especially out in the middle where we were. There was a certain spot there where we were cutting across. Yeah, if we had tipped, it would have been really bad because we were pretty far from shore.
But we could probably stand up.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe in the middle we couldn't.
No, probably not.
And there's some big fish in there.
There's some ginormous. Yeah, there's some fish that are like, the carp are like 3 feet long, 4 feet long. Yeah, so if you fell in, you didn't freeze to death, you'd probably get eaten by one of the carps. But other than that,
That's good to know. Well,
Now
make
you'll-
sure and tell our grandkids
now you'll
that.
never go on a canoe
Yeah.
again with me.
Yeah. No, that was fun. Thanks for taking me.
Sure.